9315 1300.
No more waiting with Petrini Painting. Now's the time to get your painting done.
Until midnight, this is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley on 882 6PR.
It must be time to find out about all that technological stuff from Ben Aylett from Easy Wireless. That's eziwireless.net.au.
Yep.
And if you want to know any information, you can also get the information from his other website, which is benaylett.com. By the way, Aylett with one L and two T's.
Yeah, actually, a quick note about the website. So easywireless.net.au actually redirects to benaylett.com. So I've only got one website to look after.
Oh, okay.
I just thought that'd be the way.
I was going to say you've been a bit slack there or something.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm putting all the effort into one website.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Sure does.
Yep. And of course, one of the things that we look at, some of the things that are making news in the world of technology.
Yep.
And there is a fair bit around.
Yeah. Yep.
You put, and you know, when you stop and look at this, there was one that you featured through the week under the heading of massive hardware hack suspected. Now what? Well, you know something, if professionals like yourself are asking the now what question, something tells me that the public are also looking at this and going, yeah, now what?
Yeah. This is something I think we talked about this last week, maybe not. Anyway, it is. This is relating to the Chinese government or Chinese spy agencies actually inserting chips into servers. Actually, I'm pretty sure we did talk about this one last week.
Yeah, there's been a few more comments because I think there's been a few more affected sites, haven't there? Or supposedly been a few more affected sites. Like we said, we're not sure if they were affected or not.
See, that's a funny thing. So we've had some reports come out and in support of it, and then others saying, we're not really too sure. And then there's a couple of categorical denials. So this story still has a fair bit of unravelling to do. So it's weird. So a lot of people who were quoted as sources in the story have actually come out and said, look, we did say something along those lines, but it's been taken out of context. We've been misquoted. Oh. So there seems to be
a story, isn't it? Oh, somebody must have misquoted me. Well, how did they misquote you?
Well, look, I don't know. I'm no reporter. I don't do any investigative journalism, so I've got no idea, to be honest. But it does two things. One, it really highlights how important it is to maintain what we call supply chain security.
Yeah.
And that's looking at every step of the way when it comes to having a product supplied or a product manufactured. You're going to make sure that everything involved in the manufacture of that product or that service is what we would call clean. The other thing is that it's highlighting how large organisations or state-backed intelligence organisations, how far they could go in order to obtain their objectives. So it's very, very.
The whole issue of security is more and more coming into focus, isn't it? And we still come down to what is the weakest link. The weakest link, of course, is the end user.
Yeah.
The end user wants to be able to access everything as simply as they possibly can. The trouble is, in order to provide security, there has to be an element of the difficult in there, doesn't there? And that's where people get a bit antsy. And I've used this example before. I know, for example, the Westpac Bank had a mouse-operated password system.
That's right. Yep.
Which I am well aware cannot be hacked by a keystroke logger. And a keystroke logger, that is some malicious software that actually logs every stroke you take on a keyboard, cannot pick up what you do with a mouse.
Yep.
Now, like I said to you once before, I have no doubt that somewhere along the line somebody involved in the organisation did a whole bunch of focus groups and people said, gee, we hate this, it's a pain in the neck, it takes a bit longer, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
And now what happens is you then say, gee, how can we make this, I think the term they like to use is a better experience for the customer.
Yeah.
When really the question they should have been asking is, how do we go about selling this to the customer in such a way that they understand it's being done to make their banking experience safer? Rather than saying, yeah, well, this is convenient. I mean, let's face it, it's a lot more convenient if you could just walk into your house and didn't have to bother unlocking the door.
Exactly, yeah. It would be convenient, but hey, you know what? Those days are gone. When we walk in and out of houses and cars and things, we lock them behind
Absolutely,
ourselves.
but it would be more convenient if we didn't have to do it. So the question, I guess, that goes to the IT world is, and this applies to any business who use IT, do we have the point, and are we going to have businesses who are involved in making it more, in inverted commas, convenient for people? Or do we need businesses and industries that do a much better job at saying, well, okay, what we get you to do is not 100% convenient, but it's far safer. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep, yeah. And, you know, we do have a history of, even though it's not as convenient as it used to be, it's more secure. And that's what we've been doing over all these decades with all sorts of other security, personal and property security. We've been taking countermeasures to stop the bad guys from doing what they do.
Yeah, we've been upgrading the security. That makes sense, doesn't it?
It makes perfect sense. The trick is that when we start talking about cybersecurity, we're not talking about keeping people out of physical places.
We're talking about keeping them out of virtual places.
That's right. So technology allows businesses and people to reach out and do things over a great distance. It also allows the bad guys to do much the same.
That's right. And what happens is the good guys have to make sure the customer, that's you and I, are able to do it and have to do things in such a way that it provides for some degree of security.
Yes.
G'day, Jared.
Chris, Ben, how are you tonight?
Not too bad, Jared. How's things, mate?
Yeah, mate, I've got a couple of Norton, Bitdefender, McAfee, what's the other one? Kaspersky.
Yeah.
All paid antiviruses and all that. But Avast is my major problem. It's a free one, and obviously everyone uses it. But that says my website is potentially unwanted.
Your website.
I contacted my IT guys and all that, and they said everything's all right. I've got the HTTPS, I've got the SSL.
Yeah.
They says my site is very secure.
Yes.
But Avast says, no, it's not.
Really? That's fascinating. Okay, so
I had that with a website once, and I sent a note to the people saying, well, I can't set myself up on your website because my system is going absolutely berserk saying this is not a safe website.
Yeah.
I have to err on the side of caution, and they basically said, what the? And it took them ages to get it sorted out.
Yeah. Now, this is actually more common than you realise. There are websites out there, and actually, let's start from the beginning. Can you tell me what sort of platform your website is built on? Is it Joomla? Is it WordPress? Is it
WordPress.
WordPress, okay. Now, when was the last time you updated the WordPress engine?
As far as I'm concerned, my IT guys said they updated it only a couple of weeks ago.
Couple of weeks, okay. All right. And that includes all the plugins and things as well?
Everything as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. All right, the most common cause for when antivirus programs start ringing bells and saying, hey, this website's compromised, usually happens when it spots something in the scripting language. So there is the ability for some bad guys to inject what we call crypto miners, which is incredibly popular now with the bad guys, install these crypto miners on websites. So when someone visits the website, their computer actually starts working towards the solution, which will then earn the bad guy a few crypto coins. It is essentially a victimless crime because they're not destroying anything, they're not taking anything away, they're just leveraging spare processor time to create Bitcoin or Monero. And, sorry, excuse me. And so that has the antivirus software sometimes trip and go, something bad is happening on this computer, it's making it do things that it shouldn't be doing. I would double check with the guys that are looking after your website and ask them to be to give you written confirmation that there is no unwanted software or code running on the computer on the website. So,
okay.
And that all the other material is up to date.
No compromised plugins or anything like that. So once you've made absolutely sure that it's clean, then you can go back to Avast, was it?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Then you can probably try to get in touch with Avast and say, look, what gives? Why are you guys tripping this alarm? if you could just remove it, that'd be great.
One other quick question is, so how are you meant to make sure that the plugins for WordPress are
Safe.
Are good?
Yeah, good, safe, yep, free of bugs. We can't be guaranteed that they're free of bugs, but we have to just make sure that they're always up to date. So it's really quite simple. If you're running a WordPress website, there is the ability to check for updates or check plugins, and it will let you know if there are any new updates. Now,
I do that all the time.
Yeah, now, this also gets us into the point of whether modules are still being developed and refined and patched. So after a period of time, you can understand that someone might have made a module and then they say, great, I've looked after it for a couple of years. It's taken up about 3-4 years of my life. I want to move on and do other things. And they effectively abandon that module, but the module still lives on in all these websites. But it's not being updated.
Yeah, good point. Thank you very much for that, Jared. Let us know how you get on. It can be a very frustrating time for people. There's no question about that.
It certainly is, because people drop a lot of money developing websites. It's not cheap.
No.
Not
And when
cheap
you
to do
get
it right.
this sort of stuff where somebody goes on their antivirus, goes, no, don't go near there, that can be frustrating for the person who's paid to have the website set up, because they assume, obviously in this case wrongly, that what they've got is going to be safe and people are going to be able to visit the website. All right, if you'd like to have a chat to Ben Aylett, 92211 we're talking about technology. By the way, his website is benaylett.com. That's where you'll also find all of his contact information.
10 questions, 10 correct answers. The foul.
You might wonder how blind people deal with everyday challenges. Well, normally the answer is simple. We're not that different from you. We play music. We go to school. We go to work. You get the picture. But sometimes the simplest things can be difficult, and we need a pair of eyes.
Connect to
First available helper.
That's where you come in.
establishing video connection.
Through your smartphone, Be My Eyes connects the blind with sighted people through a live video connection. Simply choose if you need help or want to help by the click of a button.
That's a nice picture of you and your family, Caroline. Is it for a present?
Yes, it's a photo from my parents.
To 6PR. This is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
Ben Aylett here talking technology. benaylett.com is the website. Our telephone number here if you've got some technical issues you'd like to have a chat with him about, 922 11882. Can be one of those moments when you say, yes, this is playing up. I do want to destroy it.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, this is a better option than destroying it. Destroying it at the time is going to feel really good. Yeah. Believe you me, you're going to feel 100%. It's afterwards when the reality of what you've just done and the cost of what you've just done strikes home. And you suddenly go, oh, gee, I wish I hadn't done that. Even though at the time, there is no denying it's going to feel absolutely wonderful.
It feels pretty good.
It certainly
then
does.
you miss out on talking with us.
Oh, you can't have that.
Crazy.
You can't have
do
that. Something that happened over the weekend, somebody talked about their phone being stolen. They posted it on social media. There was actually a picture of someone pinching their phone. And it reminded me of something we perhaps ought to speak of, and that is the need to know your phone's IMEI number.
Oh,
and the reason why, if you know your phone's IMEI number and it gets stolen, you can turn your phone off with your phone company. And if you have reported that IMEI number as stolen, no other phone company can turn it on, which means if somebody steals your phone and thinks, gee, beauty, I'm going to go and fence this, the fencee is going to get very, very annoyed with the fencer when they found out the phone they were fencing cannot be connected to any network.
That's right. There is actually a website you can go to, and with the IMEI number, you can, if you're looking at buying a phone, you run the IMEI number through this webpage. It is lost.amta.org.au/IMEI. And so if anyone reports their phone stolen, so if you have your phone stolen, the first thing you do is you get in touch with your telecommunications provider, be it Telstra, Optus, whoever, with a phone, I guess, somebody else's, and you say, my phone's been stolen, can you please lock my phone? And it will be registered in this stolen database.
So basically it can only be turned back off if it is returned to its lawful owner.
That's right.
If it doesn't find its way back to its lawful owner, it's a no-go.
Yeah. And
in other words, the phone will be useless from then on.
That's right. And there's a way you can check your IMEI number. You can find it out. And it's actually quite simple. You pick up your phone and you punch in *#06# on your mobile phone.
*#06#
on your mobile phone.
Yep.
And then you press the send or call button.
Yep.
And it'll come back with the IMEI number.
So it's not that hard.
It's not hard at all. So you can do that. Everyone can do that right now.
Yeah.
And write it down. And
I've got mine written down at home, but let's try your thing. So it's *#06#.
That's right.
All right.
Don't read
the frustrating thing. The frustrating thing for most people here with my phone would be I have a code to lock it to begin with.
Yeah.
So it is *#06#. Cool.
Yep.
Bangs up straight away,
and it comes straight back.
Yep. There it is. There.
Yes. Confirmed.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's actually quite vital. So as soon as you get a phone, it's probably one of the first things you should do. Write it down.
You didn't have to press call with mine. As soon as I pressed the second hash.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
So I'm guessing with some you probably do, some you don't. Depends on the phone.
Yeah, it would.
By the way.
Yes, phones.
Marie just SMS'd and she said, what does IMEI stand for? Well, I can tell you what that is straight away. It's the International Mobile Equipment Identity Number.
There you go. Another question answered.
Yeah, especially those trivia ones. These are the kind of questions I reckon people should have at quiz nights. The kind of stuff that confronts you. It's like, for example, I know you know the answer.
Yeah.
But what does SIM stand for? How many people know that?
Yeah.
Seriously? Yep. They know it's a SIM card.
Yep.
But what does it stand for?
Yeah, call in.
Yeah. 922 11882 is our telephone number. Hey, Kira. Where is she? I'm just looking for it. Now, Kira, we've come up with an idea. We're just asking a question here.
Yep.
Put a person through. We've got, if I'm not mistaken, double pass to First Man, which is a look at the life of the astronaut Neil Armstrong and the legendary space mission that led him to become the first man to walk on the moon. and comes from the Academy Award-winning director of La La Land. It's in cinemas now. 922 11882. I'll give that to the first person who can tell me what SIM stands for. But nobody thinks about this sort of stuff.
There's money for jam, guys. Come on.
Yes,
if you want to go and see a movie, dead easy.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
Okay, here we got.
Yeah. All right.
Call.
Okay, that's all right.
Oh.
Yeah, 922 11882. Do you know what SIM? You have one in your phone.
Yep.
But what does it stand for? The first person who gives us a call, come and join us on air and tell us. I'll give a double to First Man, the movie that looks at the life of the astronaut Neil Armstrong. I will do that. 922 11882. See, this is the sort of stuff that lots of people, I'd suggest, don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think about it, though.
That's right. And a lot of people that don't know, you just go to Google. Oh, that's all you do.
Yeah, no, but see, sometimes I reckon it's good if you know stuff off the top of your head. You know, you just sort of got to wonder. 922 11882 is the number. Probably proving a little bit tougher than you think.
Yeah, come on, guys.
But it's no surprise to me.
Yep.
That it's as tough as... There's so much stuff out there and we just don't know about it. We've never thought about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's stuff that we've grown up with. And
yeah, it's just there. David?
Hey, Chris, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. What is it?
Subscriber identity module.
That's the one.
Great Googling there,
yeah.
David. Well done, mate.
Yeah. Did you know that, or was it just a bit of Googling?
Well, no, I actually used to work in the telecommunications industry, so I got to know from that.
Wow, well done.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I'll just put you back to Kira, and she can grab your information. So we'll give you a movie pass to First Man. There's subscriber identity module.
Excellent.
But lots of stuff like that people don't know about. And the beauty of, say, for example, knowing your IMEI number.
Yep.
If your phone is stolen, the greatest kick in the ghoulies you can give somebody is to say, well, I've now switched the phone off permanently.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't matter who you sell it to and where they go to get a phone service.
Yep.
No carrier will allow them to connect.
Yeah, that's right. And buyers are getting a little more savvy about it too. So you've got your buy and sell things like your Gumtree and your Facebook Marketplace. And the first thing, when it comes to buying a phone, the first thing you should ask for when you start talking turkey is you should ask for the IMEI number and then check it. And if it checks out fine, then you can continue. But if it comes back and says, this is reported as stolen, then I don't know. What would you do if the phone was stolen? Or if it came up as stolen, would you just say, sorry, no? Or would you actually go all the way and report it?
I'd go and report it because I hate people stealing other people's stuff because somebody probably worked really hard for that phone.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
You know.
Phones are not cheap.
Absolutely. I would have no hesitation. I'll tell you what happened. You know what the advice I also gave to this person over the weekend was?
What's that?
I said, jump online, have a look if any phone calls were made after the phone was stolen.
Yep.
If any phone calls were made, call the number. And let's say, for example, what is it, 8:45 on the 15th of October.
Yep.
I'd jump on the phone and I'd say, oi, somebody called you at 8:45 on the 15th of October. Who was it? And people will be really antsy, of course, at first to say, well, you've got two options. You can tell me or you can tell the cops, right?
Yeah.
But either way, I know my phone called you at this time after it had been stolen. So you damn well tell me who called you, or you can tell the cops.
G'day, it's Ollie Peterson from Perth Live, where you told me just...
You might wonder how blind people deal with everyday challenges. Well, normally the answer is simple. We're not that different from you. We play music. We go to school. We go to work. You get the picture. But sometimes the simplest things can be difficult, and we need a pair of eyes.
Connect to.
First available helper.
That's where you come in.
Establishing video connection.
Through your smartphone, Be My Eyes connects the blind with sighted people through a live video connection. Simply choose if you need help or want to help by the click of a button.
That's a nice picture of you and your family, Karen. For a present? Yes, it's a photo from my parents.
You can help just by installing the Be My Eyes app.
Print image.
And we'll notify you when someone needs your help. And if you're in the middle of something, don't worry. Someone else will step in. So, would you care to be my eyes?
This is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley on 882 6PR.
Indeed, if you'd like to have a chat to Ben Aylett, he's here to talk technology. 92211. 882 is the number.
There you go.
That's all we're going to get there, mate.
Yeah.
Tony.
Right. No rush.
Yeah.
Tony.
I was in the car just recently and I was driving, so I couldn't write it down.
Okay.
What's that number you have to use to EI number, was it?
The IME, yes.
IME number, yes.
IME number, yes.
Okay. What you punch in, so you pull up your phone.
Yep.
Like you're going to call someone and you press star hash 60 hash.
No, 06 hash.
Sorry, 06 hash.
Yeah.
Zero.
Star hash 06 hash.
Got it. And there's a bloody great big number.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that is if someone ever steals your phone, you can phone your phone provider, quote the IME number, and switch the phone off. Now, the downside for anyone who's stolen your phone is they can't sell it and the phone becomes useless because your phone company not only turns it off, it registers the phone as being an IME number that's listed as stolen, which means nobody can reconnect that phone. So if you're with Telstra and you report it to Telstra, and somebody thinks I'm going to go and I'm just going to drop in a MaySIM and nobody's going to know, yes, they will know, and you won't be able to authorise the phone.
That's it.
I like it. No, I've got an iPhone or a number of iPhones with iPads and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Now, I can actually, if somebody nicks my iPad, I can go on my phone and find my phone and then ask them, I can wipe it out from there. Isn't that a similar thing?
It is. It's a very similar thing. In fact, the iPhone one, I think it actually does work off the IME as well. As against your Apple account. Yeah, so you
can use I think in the iPhones you can use your IME to basically operate this phone will self-destruct.
Yeah, I'd like it to blow up in the bloke's pocket.
Yeah, that's the only trouble. You can't do that because somebody'd be liable. But I like the way you're thinking. You know what?
Samsung tried that, but
you know what? It didn't work well for them. You know what a mate of mine did with that?
Yeah.
And this finds your phone.
Yes.
When you do it, it can activate the phone.
Yep.
He set it up, and you know what he labelled it as?
What?
Federal Police Mobile Phone Entrapment Device number 14. and he contacted where this was located because it gave him a location. He knew the house.
Yeah.
And he went and knocked on the door and said, "Have you got this phone?" No, mate, we haven't got the phone. No. And he said, "Well, according to my information, you have." No, mate, we haven't got the phone. Yeah, all right. Anyway, when they fired the phone up, they saw Australian Federal Police mobile entrapment device number 14. He found it on the bus stop near their place. About an hour later, yeah, they got it the hell out of there super fast.
Jeez.
Yeah, because I know, because we had one of my girls who lost it. She left it at the checkout or something, went back 2 minutes later, it had gone, and someone said, oh yeah, I asked who it was, and this man said it was his, and he walked off with it. So what she made a mistake then of ringing it, which I said should have come straight back to me. I would have said, find your phone, then sent the heavies around to deal with the bastard. And that would have been a better way of dealing with it.
Sent the heavies around. I like the way you think, yeah.
Well, it says where the phone is. You've got the address. You just go along and have a little chat, don't you?
So see, with an accent like yours, you could send the Cray brothers around, mate.
Ooh.
Yeah, not half. Sort them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love it, Tony.
Awesome.
Thanks very much for that.
Great call. Thanks, Tony.
They're a really good thing, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Being able to track them.
It is. It's a really cool thing. It's very useful, but also it can be used for evil purposes as well, can't it?
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, it can, yes. Yes. But the one thing that's very good for it, though, is when you can turn a phone off. It was a major step forward because, as you know, in the early days, mobile phone theft was out of control.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of mobile phones and things being out of control, Apple appears to be on a collision course with the Australian federal government. Why is this so?
Well, they've joined the long list of other people that are calling out the Australian government for the sort of wishy-washy legislation they're trying to put forward about weakening encryption.
Ben, I'm going to say this because I've said it 1,000 times before, so let's go for 1,000.
I think we have, yep.
And that is the trouble we have with technological legislation is the people legislating have absolutely no idea of the technology that they are regulating.
I agree.
How it works. I mean, another classic example was when that Como Conroy was the communications minister and he wanted to censor the internet.
Yeah,
well, you know,
right.
I mean, of course, he started using arguments about paedophilia and all the rest the same way that capital punishment proponents use the word Bernies in Western Australia. But what it showed was a complete lack of understanding of the technology. And when they tried out Como Conroy's bloody filter, they did some experiments in some far-flung, God-forsaken place in Tasmania, and they discovered that the super U-Butte whiz-bang NBN broadband was going to be slower than dial-up. So the whole idea was quietly dropped. But in the meantime, what they had failed to do was listen to technical people who told them what they were up against anyway.
That's right.
And once again, we get back to the point. People don't understand that encryption is actually the point at which you provide security, correct?
Exactly. It is one of the key factors of security.
So if you weaken encryption, by extension, you weaken security at a time that everyone's jumping up and down and saying we need to strengthen security.
Exactly. So, yeah, this is probably the worst possible time governments could be looking at ways of assisting law enforcement, and I appreciate they've got a job to do. I get that. But when you start weakening the defences that everyday people and businesses use to protect themselves against really aggressive attackers, you know, it really just defeats everything. Not only are we making it harder, easier for the good guys to do their job, we're making it incredibly easy for the bad guys to do their job because it is the way that it works at the moment is that the bad guys do have the upper hand.
Yeah. Well, see, the problem is, under normal circumstances, if law enforcement wants access to your phone, it has to get a warrant. What they want to do, the reason why they want this so much is they want people like spy agencies to be able to snoop without warrants. Well, the reason why they can't snoop without warrants is because they can't crack the encryption. If they have a warrant, then what happens is the phone company creates a channel that allows them to view the phone they need to view. In the event that they don't have a warrant, what happens is they have to effectively electronically break in. And the trouble is that Apple have got stuff that's so damn secure, they can't electronically break in. So they're trying to use the law to force them to allow them to break in without realising that the moment they do that, they create vulnerabilities. Anyway, that's one for another time. As always, sir, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And by the way, don't forget the website, benailets.com.
When January rolls around, the Red Hot...